Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. We are back with whiteboards. We actually bought a bigger whiteboard. The last whiteboard was this big. This whiteboard is this big. And what I thought I would do in our first whiteboard series on the new board is talk about the 4 levels, 4 phases, 4 stages, 4 whatever you want to call them, I think real estate investors go through. I want to have this discussion with you because, again, the first couple are slow. They may feel like you're not making progress, but I want you to hear me right now. Everyone, including myself, Matt the Lumberjack Landlord, Dion from Dion Talk, REI Mom, Greg Dickerson, Jonathan Twomley, all my experts have gone through the same 4 stages. So let's talk about them. Stage 1 or stage 0, depending on how you would like to count, over here. It can take some time, maybe 1 or 2 years. This is where you are getting yourself, the individual, ready to buy a rental. Maybe a house hack. Some of you, you've got to work on your credit. Some of you got to work on your down payment. You've got to build your network. You've got to get pre-approved. You've got to do all of these kind of things. And for some of you, you are at a point in life where you're past this. Maybe you've got the down payment. Maybe you've got good credit already, but whatnot. But I do want you to realize that if you're watching this and you've got a 580 credit score, no money for down payment, that's okay. Everybody has to go through this, and everybody will go through this. One second, my little puppy Sonny is playing with wires. This little rascal right here, he's being a troublemaker. Yeah, that's not good. Anyways, so again, level 0, everybody goes through it. Some of you have already been past it, but again, I do want to appreciate that it could take you a couple of years to get out of stage 0. Now stage 1. This is where a lot of us are. Stage 1, in fact, or stage 2, again, depending on how you are counting. Stage 2, we'll call it. This is the one where I see most people struggle. This is where the income snowball hasn't kicked in. This is where recycle capital hasn't kicked in. It's like, Michael, I got my first great deal, but it's going to take me a year to save up for the next one. Again, Dion went through this. I went through this. Matt went through this. Anna went through this. Everybody goes through it. It could take 3, 4, or 5 years. I wrote about it in my book. It took us about 3.5 years before we did our first recycle of capital or cash out refi. This stage will likely last, again, 3 to 5 years. Everybody goes through it. Don't fight it. It's actually this stage right here. This is why I wrote my second book. 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires is for everybody in this book. I know how hard it is. I was up at night reading, trying to just feel confident that it would pay off. That's why that book was created. If you want something to hold on to, there are 15 real estate investors who got to the other side. Find the story that resonates with you and read it over and over and over again. Again, you might be 5 years into your journey, halfway to making work optional, right? Because we talk about 10 years to make work optional. Now, one of 2 things happens as you enter stage 3. You either now have income snowball, as Dion talks about, where your cash flow is added to your income and you're buying faster and faster and faster. Or you get the option like Matt and I did, where you can recycle capital. You can go back to assets that now cash flow, that have equity, keep the asset, do a cash out refi, and go buy more assets. It's where you can do a 1031 exchange. I wrote about it in my first book, One Rental at a Time. My market was crazy expensive. So I couldn't afford my 9th house. So we sold one, bought an apartment. That worked out well. We sold another one and bought an apartment. That worked out well. And again, when I say sold, I should say exchange, 1031 exchange. Look it up if you don't know what that is. And it's an amazing benefit. You can sell, move your equity into a new building, don't pay the IRS. This stage, again, can last years. This stage here will get you to financial independence. This final stage, you now have financial independence. You have made work completely optional. You have some choices. You can keep what you have, you can keep growing, but there is a final stage, and I wrote about this in my second book, 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires. There will be a time where you want to unwind, or maybe you want to pay off debt, or some other things. Here, stage 3, you're still growing. Stage 4, you're kind of happy with what you got. You're kind of repositioning equity and debt. Maybe you're becoming a seller and you're seller financing. Whatever it is. But again, there is this stage. One of the chapters in the book talks about it. It was the most important chapter for me to read because, again, I am closer to this stage than many of you, perhaps, because I am older and just need to think about what we do here. So again, making work completely optional, 4 phases, stages, levels, whatever, getting yourself ready to buy, doing the work. This is the one where, again, I see lots of people struggle because it is slow. It is painful. It does get better here, recycling capital, income snowball. But there will also be this 4th stage when you want to unwind, remove, reposition debt, things of that nature. So from Sonny and I, we want to wish you, hey, Sonny, say hi to everybody. Hi, everybody. Anyways, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.